Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to this talk and getting involved with the Product Marketing Festival. We hope you've been enjoying the stages and the talks so far, and you're in for another good one right here. But before we kick things off, we just wanted to say a quick thanks to everyone who's helped make this festival happen. Sponsors, partners, attendees and speakers. Shameless but obligatory plug, and in case you missed it, we recently launched our very own product marketing certification. If you haven't already, check it out. Enjoy this session.
Your customers are your best spokespeople, so you want to make sure your prospects hear what they have to say. After all, trusted endorsements can drive faster sales cycles and boost marketing conversions, which helps you unlock faster growth. But when it comes to going on the record, even your best customers can go silent, and who can blame them? Partnering on case studies is time-consuming, and it's painful to work through the legal approvals often required. Luckily, there's another way. With Tech Validate by SurveyMonkey, you can easily capture feedback from satisfied customers and transform it into powerful content, like verified case studies, testimonials, and reviews. Want charts that show ROI, cost savings, or competitive differentiation? You got it. With our platform, you'll quickly build an arsenal of highly targeted social proof points, segmented by industry, company size, or buyer persona. You'll get the tools to easily deploy your new customer evidence into top marketing channels and put it in front of your sales team to share with prospects. Plus, there's no need to wait for legal for approvals. With Tech Validate, your customers can opt to share their name or provide testimonials anonymously, with all customer evidence validated by a trusted third party. That's why hundreds of companies, big and small, use Tech Validate to get social proof at scale. Ready to see how it works? Watch our product tour today.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to be cruel right now and ask you to stand up if you speak more than one language. Okay, well done. Stay up if you speak more than 2 languages. Okay, we've got like 25 or so people. Stay up if you speak more than 3 languages. I'm going to count now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Okay, thank you. So this goes a little bit on what are we going to talk about and who is Babbel. You probably know the basics, or I hope you do. We're a language learning app. We are a subscription business model, available worldwide and have millions of users. Basic information. The more interesting stuff is that we are made by people like those 12 special people. We're a bit of language nerds. We're mainly built by linguist experts. And what we mean by that is that all our content, our courses, the way that our functionality is designed is made by linguist experts, people that know what do you need to really get conversational. Above all things, we've also learned and understood that the number one thing that our consumers want after talking with them over the years is not so much conduct transactions, get that job, get understood when you over there a coffee in Paris, but really feel understood. And for us, that is something important because at a moment of even increasingly rigid public opinions, we feel that languages give you access to different selves, allow you to choose how to make others feel understood, and allow you as well to navigate your own versions. And that, to me, has a lot to do with product marketing. We are a bit of that chameleon role that sometimes sits very close to marketing and can empathize with marketing, or can sit very close to product and be like, yeah, man, these marketeers, who makes sense of that, right? Like we play that role of different selves. And if I would define in one word what we bring, we've said communication, we've said a lot of things, but to me, the main point behind that is understanding. You're taking 2 big parts of organizations, product and marketing, who are almost DNA-wise completely different, and you are that understanding middle space. And that's a little bit what happened at Babbel. So we, backwards 2 years ago, We've been in the industry for about 10 years, growing revenue at 2-digit % numbers year over year. So everything would show you you're doing just fine. But product and marketing KPIs, indicators, relations were completely disconnected. So it was basically like we produce a sale, talking to the customer up until then, and then we tell you goodbye and best of luck in your language learning journey, and product would take over, and no one would know there. We were also not using our product innovation in our brand and marketing campaigns. Really a shame. We were saying the same thing, the same brand promise, the same claim, not using anything of what was new in the product there. And the issue here, or the cost of opportunity, is that we were doing that in a market with very undifferentiated product benefits. So in a market where this could have been a low-hanging fruit, where no one was actually making clarity about this is my saliency, we were also not wanting to use it. So we decided to build a product marketing team, and our main goal for bringing the team into the organization was to strengthen the beginning and the end of the product lifecycle. What we mean by this is, at the beginning, this product marketing team focused on bringing consumer insights and distilling those for the product teams, focusing on bringing competitive intelligence. And at the very end of the product development lifecycle, as we have an MVP validated, we would be the ones taking that MVP on launch, on growth, and maintaining that feature adoption that gets generated by marketing. So this was the first slide, by the way, that I was showed after I was hired and said, this is where we want to be, off you go. One person in that team at that time. And I've been thinking of the three main things that I would give you if the three main ingredients that over the last 24 months have got us there. First is to really be a team player. Second, own that connection that you're building between product and marketing, that translation, that empathy place where you navigate. And the third one, and this was something that we discovered this year, I was not even myself thinking of it, make your product team dream. Be a team player. It sounds very fluffy, and it's probably like, okay, fine, I've heard this a million times. What do you mean? For us, and I think this is probably similar to many people, whether it's a B2B or B2C company that you're in, we come into organizations where that organization has been running already. There's already a product team, there's already a marketing team. Chances are that some of those 20 hats that you might be wearing is already being done by someone. There's no value on you taking and trying to turf and compete on that area. It is much more valuable for you as a new expert in that organization, but as well for the company, that you actually choose the topics that are dropped on the floor. Those topics that probably might be unsexy for someone that is working right there, or maybe complex, and really try to find not just a way of answering them, but find a systematic approach for that company to answer them. For us, as an example, that was running business models and estimations of impact of new features, new product changes. Our product managers hated Excel and model, so we were like, sure, we'll help you with that. It's not like it's our most favorite activity otherwise, but it actually positioned ourselves from a point of expertise within the organization and showed our product and engineering teams that we were bringing a toolkit to help their prioritization. But there's even more than that, and showing them that there is a way of systematically answer those questions, that it doesn't have to be humongous effort every time that you're doing it, builds on your credibility and starts building your seat at the table on the product development roadmap conversations. Number two, connect. Connect goes more, in my point of view, and maybe I'm a bit biased here because I came more from the marketing side. It's really connect product teams to the marketing impact that they're having. So normally you'd have agile teams measuring their work depending on the increasing MAUs, DAUs, average session that they're building. Like typical metrics that a product organization would look into. And that's well and fine. But for us, it was very important to show them that they also were having an impact in revenue generation and brand differentiation. So in this example, for instance, we were redesigning our app registration funnel, and we asked the product teams to, as we were doing the qual research of different MVPs, that we tested as well how did these different funnel processes scored in brand attributes. So not just the messaging and the design, but also the functionality. We would have users go through the different versions and at the end ask them about a number of brand attributes. After, I think it was four versions, we arrived at a app funnel that actually delivered higher, scored higher in most of our brand attributes. And we were able to show to our product teams that it actually has value to not only look into the direct impact or short-term impact that you're generating with this change. I've increased monthly active users, so I've increased the visit to sale of this funnel, but I've built a funnel that actually delivers a more salient product positioning, that people after going through my funnel have not thought, okay, one more language translation app, next, whatever you're doing, I don't even know right now, but I can connect this specific brand to certain attributes that we want to be recognized by. The third thing that we did, so this is, I think, started February of this year, so about 1 year after the team was built. Right now we've grown from 1 to 3 to 7 people in the team. And we took the moment to, at the time where we were having some upcoming features in our product, the ones that you see on the left, we took time to walk our product leadership specifically through a number of hero product stories for us. So best in class product story examples that really made them dream, and we show them, look, this is what your product development could be achieving. This is the level of wow-ness that we could be creating together. And you can imagine that very much after that, we brought a bit of a checklist of what is needed to get there, what is needed for their product improvement or new feature to get famous. And what there's specifics here, but what we were really trying to arrive with them was to standardized way of delivering features that we want them to get into a high impact product campaign. And it can summarize in 4 main areas. We need product, new features or product innovation that actually delivers user-facing value. You might be amazed that you just refactor all your app code, and that's fantastic, but we're not gonna tell that to a consumer, ever. We need reliable launch dates. I don't know in your side of the house, but on our side, at least, that was a very movable reality, and you were planning a marketing campaign and maybe booking or not paid advertisement, you never knew. And this is also a reality that's very hard to bring home for specifically our engineers, but scale. We have, you saw 14 learning languages, and often when we develop a new feature, we launch this in the Indonesian language. And we quietly let it happen and see what happens afterwards. And then very slowly, we start taking over the other languages. And maybe we do it in one platform only and see what happens, which is fine. And that is what agile development requires. And this is why we're able to iterate faster. But at a moment of a campaign, we need whatever benefit to have reached the majority of our users. It will not be relevant for a marketing campaign if we're not able to talk to the majority of our audience and potentially new audience. And then for us as well, maybe hopefully it's not your issue, but we needed a frictionless experience. And by that, we meant deep links that could take you right to that new feature, ideally without being logged in, regardless whether you were coming from a desktop or from an app. And this was understood and absorbed and challenged back and really requested if it was that necessary. But at the very end, what this brought was that our product leadership understood that to create that standardized way of delivering features, we really needed to bring this in alignment with our product organization. So what we did in that sense was bring product campaigns as part of the product OKRs for the year, for that specific quarter. So all of a sudden, product teams were seeing that in their OKRs, in their company goals, they had to deliver a product marketing campaign. And it became a bit fussy at the beginning of like, why, hang on a minute, why am I accountable for that? I'm not building the campaign. I'm not the one that is creating the campaign planning or the channel or booking anything of this. But it was a very effective way to make them understand, no, you have direct impact on whether that campaign is going to work or not. You keeping that launch date that we agreed is going to have direct impact on whether that campaign is successful. You QAing all the links that you're giving to marketing is going to have direct impact on whether we will deliver feature adoption, product understanding, or even sales with that campaign. And that took us also to the most cross-functional campaign that we've delivered over the last 2 years. This is our latest New from Babbel campaign. If you follow us on Instagram, you're going to see some of those designs on the left. And this was a product campaign where product managers ideated with product marketeers on the storyline and how we should be telling the key benefits. Most of our designs, what you see right there, was done by our product designers who had never done a marketing collateral before, but were so excited and wanted to be the ones that were delivering the hero creatives of the story. And ultimately, a campaign that is well delivered in feature adoption. There were 3 main features in this story: our new home, learning reminders, and an activity tracker. You can see it on that email. And we saw after the last, after 2 weeks of this campaign going live, that there had been higher adoption of these specific features, higher usage, not only during the time of the campaign, but afterwards. And this is all well and good, but I think it's also fair to tell the full story. I've been talking about 2 years of work. And the number one thing that we have had to, at certain points, explain was why we were not going faster. And it was also very clear for us that we were trading speed for partnership. That approach of the beginning of be a team player and pick up the unsexy, complex tasks that maybe no one is doing, but that you know are essential for a better product development process, was something that took more time than just appearing and saying, hi, I should be doing X. But we believe that it also was one of the main ingredients and the most important things to really build that trust with our product leadership team and really have them understand through actions why we were contributing to road mapping, choosing what problem statements to solve from a user perspective, choosing what to prioritize over a quarter. The other main point that I've also always discussed back with my team is how this approach is more heavy lifting on our end to a certain extent. So building trust and reliability by adding value takes more work. Again, it's taking, I'm going to prove you why I'm here and why I can add value, rather than let's discuss ownership and structures from the beginning. We could have done that. We knew at that time, and at least our product organization was going through a number of changes that we were very sure that probably whatever agreement was going to get changed in a matter of 6 months. So we chose to support while they were going through that change. And yeah, it actually took much more work for the first year of our team getting ramped up. we did much less of marketing activations, marketing campaigns, whether it was to visitors, leads, or subscribers. And yeah, we were always clear on that trade-off. It was also something clear that we communicated up. That was it.
Here I come. Sorry, I wasn't really ready. Are there questions on Slido? There are. Okay, first question. You can read it. Why don't you just read it aloud? I'm having a hard time.
Yeah. How does product marketing differ from product management or marketing communications teams? I can speak on our case, Babbel. Like Rachel was saying, this is a discipline in the making. So I think we all have different positions within that spectrum that is heavy marketing or heavy product. We are now a team of 9 people, and we have 4 of us heavily connected with product, much closer to product management, and 4 or 5 of us much more connected with marketing executions. That's the way that we've found the balance. At the beginning, I would say it was really difficult to have everyone playing both roles. At many times, we felt like we were spread too thin. So if you have the chance to build a bigger team, I would strongly suggest that you specialize roles a little bit.
Yeah, and we have time for a few more. Go ahead.
How did Babbel come up with the vision for product marketing before they... before they hired their first PMM? Was senior management bought into this vision from the beginning? Yes. So how did that happen? Our company has a leadership team of evolving over time, but all directors and above from the company, all sections, and we get together every quarter to identify what's working and what's not, and what do we do about it. On the back of one of those meetings, we understood that while we were delivering product innovation, it was almost like 2 parallel tracks that we were completely isolated. And on the back of that conversation, our C-level decided to build this team. The vision was built before the team was brought in, which I think was one of the main ingredients for our success. Some of those conversations about what do we do were decided in theory. So that nice graph of where do we sit, it was something that I was very much handed at the beginning of my start. It was just a theory, and it took a lot of convincing to get it into actual practice. But yeah, the vision was built by senior management before, and it was done as a collective leadership decision. Yeah, sorry. How do you define a high impact campaign? Number 1, product management question. So they were like, you're gonna measure me on that. That sounds really fluffy. I want a KPI and I want a percentage, and I wanna look at the previews to tell you, is that realistic? Because otherwise I'm not gonna commit. And there was different opinions, of course, but that probably was the most negative end of the spectrum. We told them, it's a storyline where the product is the hero, and it's a story that delivers feature adoption. So for this campaign specifically, we are going to look at all the general performance marketing metrics, because we keep that as health metrics. For instance, on emails, open rates, click-through rates, and all of that. But ultimately, we're going to look at the bulk of activity, product activity that we create with this. And it was something difficult to measure, because you all know a social media post, it's very difficult to track on how much activity that creates into the product. So we had to be a bit more approximate on the before and after, having a historic of when certain communications go live and tracking that, and then track the activity in the product. Ask our product teams during this time, please don't do anything fussy that might make our measurements look different. But yeah, this is what we wanted to add. Delivers feature adoption, and the product is the hero of the story. And then, how do you track feature adoption? Got it. in-house development of a third-party tool? And do you, and if yes, feature adoption campaigns to improve adoption? Third-party tool, yes, we use Amplitude. So first of all, we do a very approximate tracking. Campaigns, communications happen on the 12th of February. What happened in terms of general activity after the 12th of February? Second, specifically for our email campaigns, we get the UUIDs of our users and we track through Amplitude what has been their effect afterwards. It's very helpful for us to understand what happened after that click. Did you actually use that feature, or did you just open the product and stayed and roamed around? And what happened 7 days after? Did you actually were more reminded of coming to the product or not at all? That's a little bit how we do it. And do we have campaigns to improve adoption? We do, but we now are focusing them on just our subscriber audience. So once you've bought a subscription and you're learning with Babbel, we are putting much more focus on building feature adoption after that sale. If you're using us, you've received some of our emails where you give you bits and tips on how to actually build that learning habit, and that happens throughout in-app, push, and email after the sale. In the trade-off of speed for partnership, how did you keep stakeholders bought in throughout the process? So I think it was a self-defense mechanism, and then we cheated a little bit. The first part. So when we were brought into the organization, like I said, 2 people at that time, myself and someone else that was already there, we very quickly understood this is a gigantic task. So after hearing from different parts of the organization, their aspirations and visions for what we were going to do, we sat with our CMO at the time, and we're very straightforward. These are the 2 things that we're going to deliver on the first 12 months. And the rest, we're going to try our best. And this is the headcount we need. This is the budget we need for working with agencies on the things that we're not going to do ourselves. But we were very clear, and we focused on the beginning on building that product organization relationship rather than getting campaigns out of the door. And the cheating part, why I'm saying this, is because to a certain extent, we also had to deliver product stories throughout that first year. And we continued to take the established marketing approach of, I understand what a feature does. I'm going to take that information and put it in whatever campaign I decide, without much connection on what product is doing, actually seeing up front if they have a way to connect it straight to the product or not.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Belén. Thank you.